Hey, baby, did you know? I know you've been watching me. Did you know? I know you got me on your mind. I know you've been thinking of
Hello viewers, welcome to Nigerianpoint. My name is Joseph Iyowa, your host. With me is my co-host,
Mr. Robert Douglas, and with us in studio today is the General Secretary to the Nigerian Union in Denmark, Mr. Harry Nasia Dirisu.
Secretary. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. It's my pleasure.
Most welcome.
Good evening.
Most welcome.
Thank you.
Firstly, could you please start by telling us a little about the Nigerian Union in Denmark, with specific references to your aims and objectives?
Well, before I start, I would want to quickly congratulate you on this program, Nigeriapoint.
Thank you.
And special thanks to for your producer, Mr. Kings, Afrowood director for this program. I think it is a good thing you guys are doing. You see, like you rightly mentioned, Nigerian Association is actually an association that has been in inception for about 40 years. And it was some Nigerians that came to study in Denmark that felt that there was a need to create a forum to bring Nigerians together. That was how the association started, actually.
Thank you. Mr. Douglas?
Yeah. So, Mr. Secretary, or Mr. Dirisu, so what has been the role of the Nigerian Union here in Denmark?
Well, specifically, like I told you, it is a non-governmental organization. And the idea is to create a forum where Nigerians can come together and enhance their well-being in this country in respect to integration, they socialize, job, and what have you. Putting in mind that Nigeria is about 7,000 kilometers away from this place. So that is actually the idea. And the role has been bringing them together.
Okay. So, what is the relationship of the Nigerian Union in Denmark with the Danish authority and Nigerians in Denmark?
Well, you see, like I said, it is a non-profit organization, and basically it's actually not a government organization. It is an organization by Nigerians for Nigerians. And the role is, you have to understand that 40 years ago, for instance, they didn't have a computer and internet. It's not as it is today. My point is the possibility of accessing information was a little bit minimal compared to how it is today. So then they could come together and inform themselves about changes in law that has to do with immigration. And at least a forum for them to meet each other and help each other when it comes to job, information, education, stuff like that. So basically, it's not an organization that has something to do with the government. If you've understood me.
Yeah, so it's basically looking after Nigerians, looking after themselves.
Yes, because we actually do believe in human capital. Because when you give human beings possibilities to come together, to interact together, organize seminar, organize forum, then we promote our cultural being, we promote Nigerian, and we educate our people about the country.
That's good.
And it's always an advantage for you to meet people that you share common background. That is why, for instance, if you go to America, you hear Chinatown.
Yeah.
You understand? It's like in Denmark, there's an area called, I think, Esau or Pombio. It's a concentration of, the Turkish immigrants, for instance. Yeah. So
in Denmark, yeah.
In Denmark, and I do recall there was a time the Danish authority, they tried to enact a law that says, well, we don't want an area that is very, very concentrated with people of same background.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
spread them.
Okay. So that means you're the right person to take our next, question. So
I hope so.
I would like to ask you. So now that the Nigerian Union here is all about looking after Nigerians, it's all about Nigerians, So how is the Nigerian community doing here in Denmark in terms of productivity?
Well, productivity, if I say I do understand what you mean, am I wrong? But I want to understand it as what they do for living. Is that what you meant?
How, in general, are they
Well, you see,
progressive?
well,
Professionally, whatever.
Nigerians, we are hardworking people. Like this studio you are is owned by a Nigerian, and Afro Wood, as far as I do know, he's been involved in movie production and a lot of things that has to do with the cinema, and he's been on it for many years. And we have Nigerians who are doctors, and we have Nigerians who are engineers, and both of you are Nigerians. You are professional, and you are being productive with what you're doing. So we have a background where you really have to work for whatever you earn in life. So Nigerians are hardworking people, if you know what I mean.
Secretary, the reason why I asked that question, because there's these stereotypes. Nigerian professionals are found only in some particular countries. Are you telling me now, or telling us, that Denmark can boast of skilled Nigerian professionals?
Well, Nigerian professionals found in a particular place, I'm sorry, that is nonsense. Allow me to use that word, because, well, I don't undermine the fact that English is not the default language of this country. Yeah. Like, if you go to America, we've got more than 4 million Nigerians in America. And when you go to UK, we have more than 1 million Nigeria in the United States. But you have to understand that Denmark...
4 million, you get your...
Yes, I got
You're
it.
sure the figures are right,
Nigerians in America...
Go viewers.
Of course, you can do your research. There are more than 3 million in states, So then you have to understand that Denmark is a country of about 5.5 million.
Yeah.
And the populace of Nigeria here will go into about maybe from 3,000 to 4,000.
In the whole country?
In Denmark. There are not very many. Okay. Yeah. But notwithstanding, there are many Nigerians who come here with their academic background from Nigeria. Yeah. But however, when they come here, they have to take another kind of education. Yeah. And like I told you earlier, we have Nigerians who are doctors. And actually, what is very important for us, that is, no matter what they do, they just respect the law of the land. You don't commit crime, you respect the rules of this country that you live in, because if you do, you're going to face the wrath of the law. So they are professional in many ways. I have friends who are engineers, all right?
Yeah.
Of course. I have friends who works with the oil company. I have a friend who is in the bank, is an engineer. And I have friends who are medical doctors. So they are professionals. We are hardworking people.
What about the language? Danish is not an English-speaking country, and we come from Nigeria. We are not Danish, so we didn't even have a glance about the Danish before we come here. Doesn't that language hinder some of our Nigerians?
Yes, that's actually a very good point. The truth of the matter is, like you rightfully said, Danish being the official language. If you come here as a Nigerian, it kind of pull you back, because many of the companies here, especially the government parasites, the working language is Danish. Yeah. So the truth is, if you want to live here as a Nigerian, it is imperative that you learn the language. Because besides your work of place, you have to go to the mall, you have to socialize, you have to integrate in the society. You need to talk to your neighbor. And you actually get more if you understand the language of the people.
Thank
Yes,
you
you're
very
right.
much.
It
Yeah,
could
thank
be
you very
problems,
much.
but
For integration. Yeah.
but it's you can do it.
Yeah. Quickly, you made mentionment of criminals before. You know, I read a crime. I read the other day that there are a lot of Nigerians in China that are in prison. You know, that the minister was saying that a large percentage of the Nigerian community there are actually in prison. How is it like here in Denmark?
Well, I haven't I haven't done a prison visitation,
Yeah.
but I would want to believe that there should be, right? But I don't think there are, you can compare it to China. That is how many. What is the population statistics?
Yeah, but you can always give figures, a percentage.
Yeah. Well, I'm
you know,
sorry, I can't.
It's a small country and 5.5 million. You know, you can rate by the
Well, I'm
percentage
sorry, I
of
will
the
not
people.
be able to tell you.
Okay,
how many.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes, Mr. Secretary. So I would like to ask you, what are the views of the Nigerians here in Denmark about the present political situation in Nigeria?
Well, you see, now you're asking me to sum up the views of Nigerians. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, you are the General Secretary to the Nigerian Union in Denmark.
And when you talk about political situation in Nigeria, I'm afraid I will not be able to tell you what Nigerians are thinking. But there's one thing I do know.
Yeah.
That is, we as human beings, our interest, our need is synonymous. That is to say, every Nigerian in Denmark, we all have families back home, and we want peace, we want good roads, we want water, we want electricity. We just want our family to have a good life. That's what we all wish. So when you talk about politicians and political situation, we just want peace to be in Nigeria, and they should administer the country well.
Thank you very much. So what is your view regarding the proposed national conference in Nigeria?
Well, it's okay you taking me to Nigeria. Well, I think
We are still Nigerians.
that's very correct. Well, initially, you know, you're talking about the one the president has just set up, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, this is a personal opinion, right?
Okay.
Initially, when last year, when the president made a speech regarding Independence Day, that was when he talked about some of the problems in the country. And he said, well, he's going to set up a committee that will advise him and stuff like that. Initially, to me, I felt, wow, this is something. But now, if you take the time frame of his period, because there's going to be election February 15th,
Yeah. 15, yeah.
next year, Jiga, the INEC chairman, has actually brought out the timetable.
Yeah.
And now you're setting up this kind of committee, like the one you've asked me about. I think the time frame is a problem. In other words, I can't see what he can achieve with that. Personal opinion.
That's your opinion.
Personal.
Which is allowed.
Yeah, of course, you're allowed to have your
Yes,
opinion.
yeah, personal
But the time frame, the election, the general election is going to be 2015.
That's correct.
So, and if I'm correct, and the conference is about to start. So why do you think the time frame is wrong?
Well, you see, as far as I do know, maybe I don't have the statistics or the figures correct. I think it's a conference that that about more than 400 persons
Yeah.
would participate, and they've actually given a slot to Nigerians in diaspora. And then when you are bringing about more than 400 persons to talk about the way forward in Nigeria, and on the other hand, you know, the president has given them a no-go area that they don't have to talk about, right? So,
but we can just as well say he's a nationalist, you know.
Well, we are all
he's the president of the whole country, so what do you expect?
You're right, we're all
Yeah.
nationalists. I'm sitting down here, I'm a secretary, so I'm a nationalist as well.
Yeah.
So the truth is, we all love Nigeria.
Yeah.
Right?
We all do. Yeah.
Good. And now, this is February.
Yeah.
Election is going to be February
next
next year. We're talking about 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, arithmetically, I can't coincide it, you know. I find it difficult to comprehend how they will, you know, talk about these issues and how you implement it, but I'm afraid that I think...
Thank you for your...
Maybe we just
Yeah,
say we
for
give
your
them the
question.
benefit of the doubt.
Well, you can
Maybe
say
they
that.
should be. So with that, let's go to some other
Issues.
things, you know, issues. So I want to ask you. This might be a little bit personal, but it still has to do with our country. I want to ask you. You just said before that we have a lot of skilled Nigerians here in Denmark, and so do we in other countries. So, how do you think skilled Nigerians professionals abroad can help Nigeria with their skills?
Well, you see, the thing is, when you talk about skilled, you know, I want to believe that you're referring to engineering, you're referring to the field of medicine. All right, you have to correct me if I'm wrong.
When you say skilled, you know, when you are a professional in whatever you do.
Good,
Yeah,
because
so-
like a cab driver is a professional.
Of
a
course,
bus
if
driver
you
is a
if you
professional.
are trained cab driver, then you are a professional. You know, when you are trained, you know, in whatever you do,
Skilled.
you have special skills.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
And your question was, how do I think they can help in
Nigeria,
The skilled
help.
Nigerian here
Yeah.
abroad can help.
So you see, I would say that, like you and I, we've had the opportunity to live in this part of the world where democracy has thrived for more than 200 years.
Yeah.
There's one thing to study democracy, there's another thing to live in it.
Can one actually study democracy?
You do, when I say study, that's political science.
Yeah, political science.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So you read about politics, and another thing to live in a country where democracy has been flourishing for many years.
Yes, yes.
You know, I would say that
In
we
shorter terms.
should be involved
Yeah.
in the democratic process of our country.
Yeah.
And if you are a medical doctor, set up hospitals. Finance could be a problem sometimes. Go to Nigeria, set up your hospital. Or if you're an engineer that wants to produce something, you can go back home, set something up. Then indirectly and directly you employ people and you are contributing.
So
country.
basically, what you're talking about now is entrepreneurship. That people should be, you know, should help themselves with whatever skills they
We're not
they
helping
require.
themselves because your question was
the
how
country
can they
in
help
general.
their country?
Yeah.
So that's why I say if you go there,
Mm.
for instance, like you're a medical doctor and you set up a clinic. And if you set up a clinic, in that clinic, you will not only treat people, but you will employ people.
Of course.
You will give job.
Of course.
You will save life. All right? Foods or what have you.
Yeah. If I get you right, like here in Denmark, sorry, Mr. Douglas. If I get you right, here in Denmark, you do know there are very few private hospitals in Denmark. You know, large percentage of Danish doctors, they go to the government to look for jobs. So, but if I get you right, that our people or Nigerians should try to set up something themselves.
You see, you got to understand that the Nigerian system is a capitalist system.
Yeah.
And why the Danish is kind of socialist system. It is easier to set up businesses in Nigeria. So as a professional, you know, a Nigerian professional, if I should refer to your question,
Yeah.
how they can help.
Yes.
That is, they go back, try to set up something. On the other hand, there are like many Nigerians like who are in the government, where those were headhunted. You know, they get government slot in jobs. But in private area, you can go there, you set up something, you know, you employ and you give
To help
services.
the country.
Exactly.
Promote his,
So thank you. So far, I think Mr. Douglas.
yeah, now we talk about a lot of things or many things, and what I would like to ask is, what is your view generally about Nigeria?
Well, you see, that is a tricky one. But
however,
I would, you know, Nigerian to the core, and a lot of affection for Nigeria. And each time, you know, like this month, February month, the death in northeast of Nigeria, the northeast, the killing over there, my heart bleeds. And if in the Niger Delta, somebody cannot till soil because of environmental, how do you put that? My heart bleeds. That is the spirit of Nigeria in me. And I strongly believe that the rots in our country, we should not close our mouth. And I don't know how conversant you are with the happenings over there. The CBN governor has just been, what do you call it? He was not sacked. He was suspended. And this is a man that actually is saying that money is missing. And that was what he said from last year. And now he's been kicked off.
For Christ's sake, he is the governor of the central bank. He controls the money. Can't he just go to the president and say, look at what is happening? Must he leak those letters, our secrets, to the public? Don't you think that might be an issue with some people?
Well, it's always issue with different perspectives. But to quickly answer your question, you know, what is happening in Nigeria, like the killing in the north, the issue of the Boko Haram, you know, the issue of the Niger Delta, and the what do you call it, the vested interest of some in the expense of others. What I'm talking about is, if the undevelopment that is going on in Nigeria, it's not because the money is not there. Because Nigeria, I'll tell you, my brother, one of the highest oil producing country in the world, but paradoxically, one of the poorest. How do we reconcile that? So this has been going on for many years. And thank God we live in the 21st century. And we have this medium, this journalistic way of communication. We must not keep our mouth shut. If I've answered your question.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, satisfied. Thank you. Yeah, about you've answered. It's your view.
It's your view.
Not necessarily other people's view, you know. But so it's been a pleasure actually. We would like you to give us your last words. You know.
Well, you see, as I said in the beginning, I would congratulate you for this your program, Nigerianpoint, and Mr. Kings, the director of this program, is a man that I've known for many years, and I want to congratulate him too for being the producer of this show, for the job he's been doing, for his tenacity and love for what he believes in, and for all the Nigerians in Denmark. We have a forum. We have a forum where we try to bring Nigerians together, for us to communicate, for us to enhance our existence in Denmark, in respect to job, in respect to social activities, and many things. We've got a lot to gain from each other if we can come together. And thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yowe.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I took over your show, right?
Thank you, viewers. We would like to leave you with these thoughts. It takes time to erect a building, no matter the technology you apply. However, the same building can be destroyed in seconds. So are the actions we take. Even though they are our individual actions, but it affects a lot of people. So what impact have you made in the lives of our people? These are the questions we must ask ourselves. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.